Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4. This is Spotlight. Today's Spotlight is on fraud or scams that target senior citizens. And I think we're going to end up breaking this into three parts. Today is a part one that's going to talk about scams or frauds that target seniors in person. Right now, we can talk about scams that are fraud that might involve over the internet or with a phone call. But today we're going to specifically look at the in-person scam that takes place. With us to take a look at that topic is Brad Deline, who is the owner of Home Instead Senior Care on Harlem Avenue in Palos Heights. Brad, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Dave. Nice to be here.
This is obviously a very serious topic, and I know you've presented on this topic before. You work obviously with seniors, so you've probably seen some of this firsthand. And we're hoping that Brad can kind of give us some insights, some examples of what the scams are out there, frauds that people are doing, and maybe how we avoid getting in that position, what we do if we get trapped into that position. And some of the numbers, we were talking beforehand, some of the numbers on this are kind of frightening. Everybody can be a victim of scam or fraud, but seniors, dollar-wise, I think are going to be like penalized twice as much as the general, right?
Yeah, very much so. That's very true.
Yeah. So, and then when you do total numbers, they're big. I mean, now when you talk about total scam dollars, we're talking in the hundreds of millions across the entire population. And obviously, we're talking about financial loss, but you think about the hardship that this can inflict on a family financially, the emotional pain, self-confidence, quality of life.
Yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah. So. Anything you can help us do to help navigate that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the in-person scam or frauds that come up a little bit first. Can you give us some examples of the type of in-person thing that takes place?
Yeah. So this is the least used, but it's been around the longest, and in my opinion, it's the most dangerous for a senior. And typically what you see is somebody come to the door of a senior and they might present to be from the gas company or the electric company. And the gas company is a common one here in the Southwest side, which, it's now, this scam is starting to move again. We're starting to see this a little more. But basically what they say is that, you have a gas leak. We need to get in your house and check that. And then an unwitting senior lets them in the home, and that senior is at risk of being accosted physically, but at the least them stealing from them. So we're starting to see that a little bit more, and awareness goes a long way.
Right, so in that situation, the person is assuming, there's a problem or there's something wrong. This person might look official, they're in maybe a uniform of some type.
Right.
And most of us probably want to trust that, I better let them help fix my problem.
Yeah, especially a gas leak, right?
Right, especially something like that. And then let alone the factor that, like you're saying, that there's the financial risk here, but there's a physical danger involved in the situation as well.
Most certainly true.
Yeah. And is it usually some type of service-oriented, or are we talking a utility type thing, or phone, internet, cable?
Yeah, what we see the most is gas. It could present as any of those. The gas, when that scammer presents as a gas worker, there's a danger to the homeowner. We have a gas leak. There's been, some surges of gas, and we have to check your house for a gas leak. That's for your safety. So basically, that kind of, pushes past a person's natural reluctance to let somebody in the home. And so, if it's a phone thing, that's pretty iffy anymore, because a lot of seniors don't have phones, hardline phones. Right. They're getting rid of them.
If in that situation somebody says, like you're saying, there's a gas leak, we need to check something, and you're like, yeah, that's a potentially dangerous situation, we better get that checked. There's obviously the risk that we talked about. In that situation, does that person invading the home, do they ever then ask for information that might lead them to more. Do you know what I mean? Like the Social Security.
We're
or the
not
credit
seeing
card.
that. No, we're not seeing
Okay.
that. It is just it's just pretty much like a grab what they can type of thing.
I got you.
You know, it's cash, it's valuables, it's in and out fairly quick.
Mm-hmm.
It is not sophisticated in any way. It's just very, it's just a smash and grab type of thing.
So let's say that happens. You get the knock at the door. Some utility or gas company, whatever the case is, and they present you with this situation. What should that person do first to avoid that inclination, like you're saying, oh, I better get this checked?
Yeah, so basically what every person should do, but seniors specifically, is you should keep them on the front step, tell them to stay right there, and then call the police department. And just tell the police, tell 911 that I've got somebody at my door and I don't feel safe, and the police will respond. You could call the gas company, but I mean, we've all tried to do that, and that
It may not happen as quickly as you
no,
would
the
like.
police, you need to get the police involved, and if the person is really working for that company, it's no harm, no foul. It's just a safe precaution that makes all the sense in the world. It's a really easy thing to do. The senior dials 911, says who they are, and they have somebody on their porch, and they feel uncomfortable.
I guess in related to that situation, the senior or any person this is not something expected, right? Like, I don't smell a gas leak, or I'm not having trouble with my phone or my internet service or
Right.
power, and so somebody shows up offering to help. If there's even a remote chance it doesn't feel right, call 911.
Absolutely.
And I could see where you can try calling the gas company, but you're gonna get routed, and they're gonna have to
Yeah.
check and
Take you
verify.
15 minutes.
Right, it might take you a little bit too long, and that person's out there.
Yeah.
All right, so good piece of advice. Somebody unexpected offering something and it doesn't feel right. Is there anything else a person can do to avoid even before they get into that situation? Is that just, no, we're in the moment and that's how we have to respond to
You
this?
know, I think you really, I think seniors should be more aware of it than others, just because of the danger to them physically. What they could do is have cameras like the doorbell ringer camera. That it's not a bad thing. And as far as that goes, I think what they need to do is not be reluctant to call 911. You know, it's not a big deal.
Right.
I mean, you're paying for that service, and it's for your safety.
Right.
So, but you know what we do see is a lot of times seniors they're reluctant to do that. They need to get past that. They need to push past that. Call 911 and let them take it from
Yeah,
there.
let them make sure everything's okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay, and then obviously, like you said, the possibility of a security service of some type could also add a layer of help or
It absolutely
safe.
can.
Okay. All right. Any other in-person scams or frauds we need to be
You know,
aware
though,
of?
not really. That's the big one. I mean, presenting as a utility worker is the most common. What we're seeing here lately in the last several years is gas. They could pose as an electrical from someone from ComEd. They have to come up with a reason why they get into your house. And so the gas is the common one. And
Okay.
just avoid that and you'll be in pretty good shape.
Okay. All right. Brad, thank you very much for coming in this morning and giving us that information about the in-person scam. Some very good advice there. Call 911. Consider another layer of security. You know, don't hesitate on help, especially if this is something unexpected.
That's right. That's
Okay.
exactly right.
All right. Again, Brad, thank you. I'm Dave Wurzel. You're watching PHTV4. This is Spotlight. The Spotlight has been on fraud targeting seniors, and this is part one of a three-part series, and we've been taking a look at in-person scamming or frauds. Thank you for watching.